Hey guys, my name's Dave. This is Custom Spray Mods. And in this video, I'm going to paint this carbon fiber hood. It's from a Subaru, so it's going to be blue, and I have to make the vents here, they have to stay in carbon. So I'm going to spray some base coat, I'm going to mask it up, spray some base coat, unmask it, spray some clear coat, and then I'll be done. So I'm going to take you along for the ride. Check it out.
The first thing I'm going to do is sand the hood with 500 grit sandpaper on a disc sander. I've also got an interface pad on the sander, which is a soft pad that's just going to help the sanding process. I'm also going to sand all the hard to reach areas with 800 grit wet sandpaper and some water, and this is just to help the paint stick to the carbon fiber. I've dried off the hood, and now I've masked up all the vents and the bonnet scoop just to minimize any overspray or dust coming through those bits. I'm also going to mask up the underneath so that I don't get any paint under there. Now I'm going to clean it with wax and grease remover. I'm just going to spray that on and wipe it off. This gets rid of any residue from the sandpaper and makes sure I've got a clean surface to paint on. Now, to help the paint stick even better, I'm going to spray some Concept Adhesion Promoter. This is ready to use. I just put it straight into the spray gun and spray it on the job. I'm just going to spray 2 coats. Make sure I use a tack rag first just to get rid of any leftover dust or fluff. First, I'm going to spray all the edges and the vents, so basically all the hard to reach areas first. This is also a practice run. So the way I'm going to spray this is how I'm going to spray the job when I start using paint and clear coat.
Okay, so I've sprayed the adhesion promoter over the whole panel. Now I'm going to mask up these vents. So I'm going to use some fine line tape. I'm going to mask up the vents, and I'm going to mask up this back vent as well. I'm going to put tape over all those bits that I want to stay in the carbon fiber look. Then I'm going to spray the base coat, and then I'm going to unpeel all that tape and then spray the clear coat. So yeah, I really shouldn't be doing this. I've always said you can't just paint a panel and put it on the car. It really should be blended. So by painting the bonnet, there is a good chance that when I put this back on the car, the colors are going to be different. But being carbon fiber, it can make the color look a little bit different, even if it's correct. So there's a little bit of leeway, and it's an aftermarket part. So we're doing the best we can. Rather than blend the 2 side panels, the 2 front guards, I'm just going to paint the whole thing, and yeah, hope that the color matches really good. Let's do it.
So I've left the adhesion promoter dry for about half an hour. Now I'm using 3mm fine line tape to mask off all the areas that I don't want paint to get onto. I'm using a razor blade to cut the edges to get nice sharp lines, and then I'm just peeling that off. I masked off one side, and to get the other side the same, I've used some fine line tape to basically draw a straight line across the hood to make sure I have the exact same measurements on the other side. Now that I've got the panel all masked up, it's time to get my base coat color ready. I've headed to VG Auto Paints to get the paint mixed up, and as you can see, this color has quite a few different colors and pearls in it, so it's going to be a pretty cool color when it's all done and clear coated. Now that I've got the colour, I'm mixing it 50-50 with Basecoat Reducer. This is going to thin the paint and make it suitable to go through the spray gun. Now I've got a filter in the gun right there, you can see it. I'm also going to filter the paint. Then I'm ready to spray. I'm using the tack rag again just to get rid of any extra dust or fluff on the panel. I'm using my Devilbiss DV1 base coat spray gun, about 30 psi. I'm going to spray 4 coats, waiting 10 minutes between coats. Then I'm going to leave it for about half an hour and I'll be ready to peel off the tape and start thinking about my clear coat.
Okay, so I've sprayed the base coats, now I'm ready to do the clear coats. Now I'm going to use a bit more protection when I spray this clear coat. I've got an air-fed mask, so yeah, this is it right here. It's a water air-fed mask, and what this does is it's got a filter that connects to a belt, and it supplies fresh air right into my face. So there's no chance of me breathing in any fumes from the paint. Now, you need a compressor to run this, and you can't just basically plug this into a compressor. You need another filter at the compressor that converts that air into breathable air. You also need special air hoses that is safe to use breathable air as well. So yeah, this is the ultimate in paint protection from your lungs. So
the clear I'm using is the Concept MS22 clear coat. MS stands for medium solids, and I'm choosing that over a HS clear because I want this to dry in just a day, just naturally dry. If I use the HS, it could take a week before it fully cures properly. So I want this to dry quickly so I can sand it and buff it the next day. So I'm using the MS22 clear coat. The spray gun I'm using is the Sagola Trophy Truck. It's a great spray gun, it looks cool, it feels good. I love the way it lays down the clear coat. I've just added a PPS adapter to the gun, which allows me to have these disposable cups, which makes it easy to clean and just makes it easier to use. I'm doing 3 coats, waiting 15 minutes between coats. Then I'll let it naturally dry and come back and check it out.
Okay, so I painted the hood, sprayed the base coat, sprayed the clear coat, and it looks awesome. What you can see, bonnet looks really good. Actually, it looks really crap. There's heaps of dust on this panel. Just after I painted this, the guys decided to start bringing in pallets of stock into the spray booth, and all the dust has come along and landed in my wet clear coat. So I could sand it all back and re-clear it and hope that it doesn't happen again, or I could sand and polish it out. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that now. Let's go.
So I'm ready to start getting rid of all the dust in the clear coat. I'm going to put some tape over all the hard edges to minimize any chance of burning through with the buff or the sandpaper. So I've done that, and now I'm going to use some 3000 grit sandpaper on a soft pad to basically go over the panel, and that is going to expose all my little dust.
Okay, so that 3000 grit has really exposed all my dust there. There. So now it's really obvious where the dust is. Okay, so I sanded this with 3000 grit and it's exposed all the little dust nibs. So now I'm going to sand them out. Now I got a Roops Hybrid Nano, and this is a short neck one. And what I've done is I've put on the 3mm orbit attachment. This has different attachments. It can be a rotary, it can be a 3mm orbit, and it can be like a 12mm orbit, I think. I'll check that later. But I've got a 3M scallop disc on here. It's a stick-on, and it's about 1000 grit. I'm going to use that to just go around and sand these dust nibs out. So just got this machine, my first time using it. Hopefully it makes the job easier.
Now I'm just using a little bit of water and the disc to go around and sand all the dust nibs out. Once they're all sanded, I'll be ready to start buffing it.
Now I'm going to use a woolen buff pad on a Velcro. This is a little rotary. I'm going to use my favorite polish at the moment, the 3D ACA 500. Doesn't need much.
I'm going to go over these sandpaper marks probably about 2 or 3 times to make sure I really get those scratches out. It's important to get the sandpaper marks out in this step before you move to the next step, because if they're not out, then the softer pads that you use aren't going to get those scratches out. This can be tricky. Make sure you look at the panel in all different lights so you get those sandpaper scratches out, because they can show up in your final job and just make it look bad. Now that I've got all the scratches out with the woolen pad, I'm using the 3D dark purple heavy cut foam pad to get rid of any swells from the woolen pad, and that's just going to make the clear look nice and glossy and shiny like a mirror. I'm using the 3D finishing polish and a 3D purple finishing pad with a DA machine, a dual action machine, to basically get the shine even better and remove any of those light swell marks that might have been in the panel from the previous buffing machines. Now I'm just going to spray on, wipe off a wax. This is just going to give it some nice shine and protection. So the panel has been sprayed in the colour of the car, and it's got the carbon fibre inserts. It's got a nice few coats of clear. It's been sanded and buffed. It's time to put it back on the car.
Well, there you go, that's it. I had a carbon fibre hood. I needed to leave the vents in carbon fibre and paint the rest of it. So I masked it up, sprayed base coat, clear coat, and then I had to cut and buff the clear, and now all the dust is gone and it looks awesome. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. I'll leave links in the description of all the products that I used. And if you want to see a long version of this video, I'm gonna put that on my channel as well. That will show basically in real time, spray painting the bonnet, spraying the base coat and the primer, basically not sped up, so you can see maybe a bit more technique, maybe it can help you when you paint your own jobs. So don't forget to hit subscribe, click the bell, and go onto my Instagram and Facebook page. Check out vgautopaints.com.au. We've got lessons up there if you want to learn how to paint, how to do detailing. Check out our lessons page because we've got some cool lessons there. So hope you liked it. See you next time.